You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. An AL East matchup. In this one, it's between the New York Yankees and the Toronto Blue Jays. The Yankees right now tied for first with the Orioles, and the Blue Jays trying to gain some ground in the AL East. They're in fourth place as of today. And there's the Blue Jays starter on the mound. It's Tanner Roark, former Washington National and Cincinnati Red. He's 2-1 in 6 starts and has a 6.40 ERA. Coming into this one. And with that, the Yankees leadoff hitter DJ LeMahieu steps up to the plate.
Leading off the afternoon.
LeMahieu, hot start to 2020, 385 average with 10 home runs and 32 RBIs. Not to mention he's also entering this game with a 5-game hitting streak. Takes strike one from Roark. The Blue Jays 15-7. Again, that's good enough for fourth in the AL East. The Red Sox still at the bottom of the AL East. They are a long way away from the Blue Jays. The Red Sox are 8.5 games back of the division, and they're 4 games back of the Blue Jays with a 12-22 record. The Orioles and Yankees right now are tied for first place in the AL East with 20-13 records. The Rays are in third with a 19-15 record, 1.5 games back in the division. And LeMahieu pops that pitch up. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. makes the catch. That's the first out of the ball game. And with that, we'll take a look at the Yankees starting lineup. And there are no new additions among the starters in this game. The Yankees have had some injuries to start the year. Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton both started on the injured list. Aaron Hicks still dealing with some arm problems. And he's on the IL, and he'll be there for the next 1 to 2 months. Here's Aaron Judge, 276 average with 5 home runs and 14 RBIs. Former Rookie of the Year in the American League. Also former single-season home run champion for rookies in baseball. Pete Alonso last year beat Aaron Judge's 52 home runs in a single season with a season that put up 53. Three-0 count to Judge. Pitch from Roark. That misses. First base runner of the game reaches on a walk.
That is third. The shortstop. Gleyber.
And with that, Gleyber Torres will come up to the plate. Gleyber Torres finished in the top 3 for Rookie of the Year in 2018. It was Torres and Andujar who were going up against Shohei Ohtani, but Ohtani ultimately won it. Torres has still been producing well for the Yankees ever since he made his debut in 2018. Came up as a second baseman, filling some team needs, and now playing shortstop with Didi Gregorius not on the team anymore. Catch made out and left by Hernandez, and he gets it in. Judge retreats back to first, and that's the second out of this first inning. And that, their designated hitter, Giancarlo Stanton. As a matter of fact, I correct myself again. He is playing left field in this game today. Although he typically does play designated hitter, but the Yankees have been moving the designated hitter role around a bit. With Aaron Hicks still on the injured list, Brett Gardner's playing center, Stanton's playing left, and Miguel Andujar staying in the lineup as the designated hitter and batting 6th. Andujar missed most of 2019 with injuries. And this Yankees lineup has a mass amount of depth in it. A lot of quality hitters that could be inserted into the lineup and produce.
2-2 pitch coming from Tanner Roark to Stanton.
To the right side, played by Brandon Drury. And that ends the top of the first inning. The Yankees get no runs on no hits. They got one walk in the inning. There was one runner left on base. Going to the bottom of the first, it's the Yankees 0 and the Blue Jays coming to bat. And here's a starter that hasn't donned a Yankees uniform in a while. It's Jordan Montgomery. He'd been dealing with some injuries for 1.5 to 2 years and is now coming back into the majors, especially with the Yankees losing starters Luis Severino and James Paxton to injury. Severino is having Tommy John surgery done, so he won't pitch at all in this regular season. As for Paxton, he's still got a less severe injury, but it's still keeping him sidelined for 1 to 2 months. So Montgomery getting his chance to come back into the Yankees rotation and prove himself worthy of earning and sustaining his job. 2-0 count to Teoscar Hernandez, former Houston Astro, now playing for the Blue Jays. Had a hot start to April, but has cooled off a bit. His average is 250.
I got 3-0.
3-ball, no-strike pitch coming from Montgomery to Hernandez. And that's a strike, counts 3-1. Teoscar Hernandez getting a chance to play left field because Bo Bichette is injured, and the Blue Jays have moved several pieces of their puzzle around, and he's been a regular starter because of it. Jordan Montgomery issues a leadoff walk in the bottom of the first inning, and here comes Cavan Biggio. Cavan Biggio, the son of Craig Biggio, legendary Houston Astros player. Nobody out. That pitch is called a strike, counts 0-1. This is game 2 of a 3-game series between these two teams. The Yankees won yesterday.
1 ball, 1 strike.
But the Yankees have been caught in the AL East. The Orioles are 20-13, as are the Yankees. They're both tied for first place as of right now, so depending on how the Yankees do, if they win, they'll be in first by a half game. If they lose, they'll be in second place, trailing a half game. The Orioles have gotten some quality production out of their new acquisition, Jose Iglesias. Stevie Wilkerson just got caught up, and he's been hitting well. The pitching hasn't been terrible. Not spectacular, but it's been getting them through ball games and has allowed them to reach 20 wins at this point of the season. Chop foul, count still 2-2. The Blue Jays are trying to make up ground in the AL East. They're 15-17 right now. They're 4.5 games back of the division lead. So a win against one of the top teams would move them up and keep them in the race. The Red Sox are in 5th place right now with a 12-22 record, and they're 8.5 games back. But the Blue Jays, Rays, Yankees, and Orioles all still on some level of contention early in the year.
No, that's a ball. Take the base.
Jordan Montgomery's issued 2 straight walks to start the bottom of the first. Teoscar Hernandez moves to second. Cavan Biggio on first. And here comes Lourdes Gurriel Jr. to the plate. He's at the top of the leaderboards in both home runs and RBIs this year. It's been a breakout season for him so far. He's been more of a table setter earlier in his career. Somebody who's quick, somebody who makes good contact, gets on base. Now batting third for this Blue Jays team. He's been able to produce runs and even leave the yard more often than not. And he's got a run-producing situation here. Nothing in 1 pitch. That's a strike, and Gurriel Jr. quickly down to the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Here's the 0-2. On the ground toward the middle. LeMahieu, Torres. Back to Voigt, and that's a double play. Biggio out at second, Gurriel Jr. out at first. Meanwhile, advancing to third on the play is Hernandez, but there are 2 outs, and with that, we'll take a look at the starting lineup for the Blue Jays. All of these players are returners from last season, except for Travis Shaw, the designated hitter, batting 7th. He's a former Milwaukee Brewer, and also a left-handed power bat. And we'll give you more on him when he comes up to the plate. But as for now, here comes Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Finished second last year in the Home Run Derby. And this Blue Jays team has several players on it who are sons of players who have played in the past, and not just somebody who came up and made a minimal impact. Players who left a strong mark on the history of baseball. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. being one, his son Vladimir Guerrero Jr., of course. Kevin Biggio's father is Craig Biggio, Bo Bichette, the son of Dante Bichette, who had a long career with the Rockies. As Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hits that into right, Judge can't make the play. And Teoscar Hernandez scores from third, and the Blue Jays strike first in the bottom of the first inning. It's 1-0. So despite Montgomery getting a double play out of Lourdes Gurriel Jr., one of the walks he issued comes back to haunt him. And now here comes Randall Grichuk. 2 outs, runner on first base, and a strike called on the breaking ball. Randall Grichuk, a former St. Louis Cardinal, now playing for the Blue Jays. Naturally a right fielder, but he's played a significant amount of time in center field this year. And he's quickly down to the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. on first base. 0-2. In the dirt, Sanchez blocks it. Throws to first, but Guerrero Jr. back well in time. No advance, counts 1-2. Swing and a miss on the breaking ball. Randall Grichuk strikes out to end the bottom of the first. Meanwhile, the Blue Jays get a run thanks to a couple walks and an RBI single by Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Moving to the second inning, it's the Blue Jays 1 and the Yankees 0. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis. The Yankees have 5, 6, 7 hitters due up this half inning. Gary Sanchez, Miguel Andujar, and Luke Voigt. Tanner Roark issued a walk in the first inning.
0-1.
Didn't give up any runs. Jordan Montgomery in the bottom of the first inning gave up 2 walks, one of which came around to score. And Gary Sanchez falls behind in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. On the ground, left side, and foul. And as you see there on the left side, the infield is shifting Sanchez, anticipating him to pull the ball. No ball, 2 strike pitch. Here it comes. Inside, counts 1-2. Tanner Roark, a product of the Washington Nationals organization. The Blue Jays have some steady arms in their rotation. With a new acquisition from free agency this offseason, Hyun-Jin Ryu, the ace of this team now, former Los Angeles Dodger, has brought his talents north of the border. And so far he's been doing well, and everybody else in the rotation has been doing their part. And that's kept the Blue Jays in the race for the division lead as of right now. And Gary Sanchez, first hit of the ball game for the Yankees. He's aboard with a leadoff single. Let's take a look at this again, because this pitch was inside, and it looked like it jammed him. He hit it off the lower part of the bat, the thinner part of the bat, but with that vacated right side of the infield, he was able to get it through. Now here's Miguel Andujar. .343 average to begin the year. First pitch from Roark to him. That's a strike. Counts 0-1.
0-1's the count.
And Duhar has had a bit of a role change coming into this season. He was out last year, or most of last year, due to injury. And then Gio Urshela was acquired by the Yankees, played third base, played there exceptionally. So the Yankees have a problem with too much talent, and Andujar playing third base, but also playing designated hitter, first base, and left field.
The first baseman.
But he strikes out in this at bat.
Voit.
I mean, the Yankees had a record 20-plus injuries from last year, and they still managed to win over 100 games and win the AL East.
0-1.
Which is just unprecedented, and they still have a talent issue. They've been dealing with some depth issues for a while, and again, the depth issue, it's not a bad issue to have. There are too many quality players on their roster, as Luke Voit's in the box now counts 2-0. And speaking of talent, there was a battle once upon a time between Luke Voit and Greg Bird playing first base. Voit was acquired from the Cardinals for Giovanni Gallegos. And Voit, since coming to New York, not only earned the first base job, but he's been producing well in the Yankees order. And he's a guy who might bat third, fourth, or fifth in another organization, but the Yankees, with so much offensive strengths, he's batting seventh in this game. Counts 3-2 on him now. Brett Gardner on deck. So many pieces of the puzzle that can fit in more than one area. 3-2 pitch to Voit. Swing and a miss. Roark gave up a base hit to Gary Sanchez and then struck out the next two hitters in Andujar and Voit. And now with 2 outs, Brett Gardner will come to the plate. Gardner playing center field. Normally plays left for the Yankees, but Aaron Hicks still on the injured list. So Gardner holding the responsibilities of center field. Gardner .283 average with 3 home runs. Consistently batting toward the bottom of the Yankees order.
Nope, that's down.
He used to be toward the top, but the Yankees are topped with DJ LeMahieu, one of the best contact hitters in baseball. Aaron Judge batting second, Torres batting third. But Gardner's moved down to bat 8th consistently this season.
That's in. Ball 2.
And he's still producing well, a high 200s average. A couple of long balls, double-digit RBIs. And the longest tenured member of the Yankees team. Made his debut with the Yankees in 2008. Grounds out one to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Throws to Biggio covering second. Out at second is Sanchez. And that will end the top of the second. The Yankees get no runs on 1 hit and leave 1 runner on base. Moving to the bottom of the second inning, it's the Blue Jays 1 and the Yankees 0. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. And we're moving into the bottom of the second inning now. The Blue Jays have the 6, 7, 8 hitters in the order due up. Brandon Drury, Travis Shaw, and Derek Fisher. Brandon Drury, a former member of the New York Yankees. He was actually traded from the Yankees to the Blue Jays during the 2018 season. And he was a product of the Yankees having too much depth. Drury got hurt. That forced Miguel Andujar and Gleyber Torres to come up early as LeMahieu makes that play, throws to Montgomery covering. That's the first out. But Drury came up. Drury got injured, then Miguel Andujar and Gleyber Torres came up from the minors, and I mean, you know how they performed. That's a open and shut story. And Drury was forced to play minor league baseball for a bit in the Yankee system. And he got dealt off here to the Blue Jays, where he's played several infield positions for them. Travis Shaw grounds out on the first pitch he sees from Montgomery, and that's out number 2 in the bottom of the second.
Fisher.
The Blue Jays got a run on a Vladimir Guerrero Jr. single in the bottom of the first inning. They lead it 1-0. 2 quick outs from Jordan Montgomery, who issued a couple walks in the first inning, one of which came around to score.
1-0.
And throws ball 1 to Derek Fisher. Fisher, in yesterday's game against the Yankees, went 0 for 2, reached base once on a walk. The Yankees won yesterday. This is game 2 of a 3-game series. Counts even at 1 on Fisher. Former Houston Astro scored the winning run of game 5 in the series. He was mainly used as a pinch runner and defensive replacement for them. But he came over to the Blue Jays last season, during the season in 2019. And been a consistent starter in their outfield. Luke Voigt makes that play himself, and the second inning comes to a conclusion. Blue Jays get no runs on no hits and leave no runners on base. Moving to the third inning, it's Toronto 1 and New York 0. 9-1-2 do it for the Yankees. Coming up next, and here is the number 9 hitter, Gio Urshela. Urshela played for the Cleveland Indians toward the beginning of his career. Was a utility infielder for them. Was dealt to the Blue Jays, who kept him for less than a couple weeks before he was then traded to the Yankees, because the Yankees needed a replacement for Miguel Andujar, as Urshela pops that pitch towards center field. That's actually got some carry to it, but Randall Grichuk will run it down. He makes the catch. That's out number 1. Urshela came to the Yankees, had a breakout year in 2019, and now
Up next for the Yankees.
he very well might have stolen Miguel Andujar's job from him. But let's take a look at the American League East standings. You see the Yankees 20-13. We talked about this, tied with the Orioles for first place. Toronto not quite out of the race yet, but would like to avoid any more losses to this Yankees team that has been caught now by another AL East team. The Blue Jays could not only help themselves move up in the standings, but could also help bring the Yankees down from the top of the division. The Orioles having some unprecedented success. They made some signings in the offseason, as LeMahieu lines that pitch into left. That's a single. The Orioles acquired some players in free agency, most notably Jose Iglesias, to play shortstop. He's had some production this year, as well as some other players on the team. But the Orioles in a position right now to keep pace with the Yankees, and the Blue Jays with an opportunity to help the Orioles do that by winning this series. This is game 2 of a 3-game series. The Yankees won yesterday, and depending on how the Yankees do today, they'll either be a half game above the Orioles or a half game below them. Gurriel Jr. stops that ball from sneaking into left field. He dove and got LeMahieu out at second base. Aaron Judge reaches on the fielder's choice. Take a look at that again. It's a backhanded play. He's going against his body to make this throw as well, but gets to a knee. Gets Biggio covering second. The return throw not in time, but an out recorded on that play. And with 2 outs, here's Gleyber Torres. Torres flew out in the first inning. Still been a run producer in the 20s in RBIs. Also has 8 home runs. His average
0-1.
further south than I'm sure he hoped for or anybody really anticipated. He's batting .221 now in the season. No ball, 1 strike pitch coming, but first to pick off. Check on Judge. He's back safely. Oh, 1 pitch coming. And that's fouled off. Torres quickly down to the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Gleyber Torres acquired in a trade with the Yankees and Cubs in the middle of the 2016 season. Strikes out in that at bat. And the inning's over. At least the top of the third is. No runs on a hit for the Yankees. 1 runner left on. Moving to the bottom of the third inning, it's the Blue Jays 1 and the Yankees 0. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis.
The catcher. Number 9.
Bottom of the third inning rolling around. This game brought to you by MLB The Show 20, and Danny Jansen to lead off for the Blue Jays fouls that first pitch off. Danny Jansen started the year off hot, and in his last 7 games, he's batting .417. Batting .318 entering play with a few long balls as well. Lines that pitch into left field, and look at him. He's got another hit. Rounds first, but Gardner cuts that one off well. Gets it into LeMahieu quickly, so Danny Jansen content with a leadoff single to start the bottom of the third. And back to the top of the order for the Blue Jays. Here's Teoscar Hernandez. No official at bat in this one. He walked to lead off the Blue Jays offensive half of the first. And there's the Blue Jay mascot getting this crowd riled up. The Blue Jays got a run in the bottom of the first inning when Vladimir Guerrero Jr. singled home Teoscar Hernandez. Since then, Montgomery's calmed down and worked through the second inning quickly. But faces the challenge of having a leadoff base runner on and nobody out. 0-1 pitch. Right over the heart of the plate on another breaking ball, and the count quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. Montgomery looking for his sign from Sanchez. The 0-2 pitch coming. On the ground, left side, Torres. LeMahieu for 1, back to Voit, and that's not in time. Hernandez beats out the back end, but out at second base is Danny Jansen. Hernandez reaches on the fielder's choice, and that's out number 1 in the bottom of the third inning. And here comes Cavan Biggio. He also doesn't have an official at bat. He walked against Montgomery in the first inning. Pickoff attempt to first. Hernandez back safely. Hernandez had an extended lead there. He is a quick runner. That pitch misses to Biggio. Counts 1-0. Biggio, a draft pick, a 5th round draft pick of the Blue Jays in 2016. Made his debut last year.
1 ball, 1 strike.
The Blue Jays have some young talent on the team now. Bo Bichette, Cavan Biggio, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Derek Fisher. Randall Grichuk not young anymore, but heading into his They also have an ace now and a quality closer. Ken Giles, of course, has been around for a few years now, but Hyunjin Ryu just signed in free agency, and he's at the top of their rotation right now. Not pitching today, but just talking about the pieces of this team that could work moving into the future. Biggio strikes out there. Montgomery with 2 now on the game. On the day. Anyway, there's 2 outs in the bottom of the third inning. So with 2 outs, that'll be Gurriel Jr. One of the leaders on this team in runs batted in. He's also on the league leaderboard for RBIs. 312 on base percentage, 592 slugging percentage. Been a run producer this season so far. Voigt's tag late, Hernandez back safely. Two outs, Teoscar Hernandez on first base. And that pitch finds the zone, counts 1-1. Speaking of his run production, the 12 home runs he has this year is tied for 3rd best in the American League. He's been a consistent middle-of-the-order hitter so far this season. 1-1. That's too high, counts 2-1. Lourdes Gurriel Jr., the brother of Yulieski Gurriel, who's a member of the Houston Astros. The Gurriel brothers' father has come to their games before wearing a jersey that's half Astros and half Blue Jays when those two teams play each other. And their family was present during the game that Justin Verlander threw a no-hitter at this park last season. Counts even, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bottom of the third. Blue Jays up 1-0. Teoscar Hernandez on first base. The Blue Jays scored in the first inning, and nobody scored since. 2-2 pitch. That's inside. Count run full, 3-2, and Teoscar Hernandez most likely running with this pitch. Here's the payoff pitch.
Ball 4,
And that just missed, ball 4. Jordan Montgomery issues a 2-out walk. That advances Teoscar Hernandez to second. Gurriel Jr. on first. And the cleanup hitter, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. coming to the plate. Vladdy Jr. singled in the bottom of the first inning. That drove home Teoscar Hernandez. That hit accounted the only run of this game so far. Swing and a miss, counts 0-1. Montgomery throwing a healthy dose of breaking balls to these Blue Jays hitters. Has lacked some control as well in this start so far. That quickly finds the zone with a couple pitches, counts 0-2. That breaking ball can't find the zone, counts 1-2, and Montgomery now at 50 pitches. One-two pitch. Got him on strikes. Well-placed pitch. Ends the third inning. The Blue Jays leave a couple runners on base, fail to score. We'll go to the fourth inning. It's the Blue Jays 1 and the Yankees 0. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, and I am neither of those three gentlemen. My name is Nicholas Callis. This game brought to you by MLB The Show 20, and the Yankees trailing the Blue Jays 1-0 coming into the fourth inning. The Yankees will have the middle of the order due up. Giancarlo Stanton, Gary Sanchez, and Miguel Andujar. Stanton 10 for 40 off of Roark. These two have also met in the National League when Stanton was on the Marlins and when Roark was on the Nationals. Roark broke into the league with the Nationals in 2016. Was a regular starter for them. He was traded to the Reds last season, and now he finds himself in Toronto as a key member of their rotation. He's had 6 starts this year. He's 2-1 and an ERA between 3 and 4.
Ball, that pitch is out.
Counts even 2-2. And now the count's full 3-2. Gary Sanchez is on deck. Sanchez singled in his first at bat. 3-2 coming to Sanchez. Or excuse me, coming to Stanton, and he fouls that pitch off and keeps the at bat alive. 3-2 pitch one more time. Hit well to left field. Running after it, left and center fielders, and that ball's going to leave the yard. Hernandez and Grichuk just watch it go. And Giancarlo Stanton has tied this game 1-1 in the top of the fourth inning. His 5th home run of the season. That ball was hit a long way by Giancarlo Stanton. Let's take a look at it again. Yeah, well, Roark threw that over the inside part of the plate. Stanton, notorious for turning on pitches, using his hips and torquing to gain some power, and that's just the latest example of that happening. Now Sanchez Turns on one. That one hooked foul. And that had the distance. Sanchez is 1 for 1. He singled in his first at bat in the second inning. 0-1 pitch. That can't find the zone. Counts even 1-1. Sanchez made his debut with the Yankees in 2016. And pops that pitch up toward left field. There's Hernandez. He makes the catch. And that is the first out of this top of the 4th inning. This is game 2 of a 3-game series between these two teams. The Yankees won yesterday. The Blue Jays could gain some ground as well as help the Orioles out a bit. The Yankees have led the AL East for the majority of the year, but the Orioles caught them after winning today. The Orioles and Yankees both 20-13 in first place. So if the Yankees win this game, they'll be a half game above the Orioles in first place. If the Yankees lose today, they'll trail the Orioles by a half game and will be in second place. The Blue Jays will be in 4th place, regardless of how this game ends for them, as Gurriel Jr. throws over to Brandon Drury. That's the second out. But the Blue Jays have kept pace in the AL East. They're 4.5 games back of the division lead. And they trail the Rays by 3 games. The Orioles just caught fire toward the end of April. And have made it to first place. The Blue Jays didn't do too poorly in April. Their April record was 10-15. That's helped them stay in contention. They haven't been blown out of the water. The Red Sox are 8.5 games back in last place. They've been playing decent baseball. They just need a push and could gain a bit more ground winning this game today and winning this series. 2-1 pitch. And Voit grounds that one against the shift, and that gets into center field. Luke Voit beats the shift. And the Yankees have a 2-out base runner.
Up next for the Yankees.
He didn't try to pull that pitch. He stayed with the low outside pitch. Hit it on the ground and toward the right side. Snuck it past the shift. Snuck it through the snuck it through for a single. And now here's Brett Gardner. Line drive right at Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He's able to make the catch. And that will end the top of the 4th. Meanwhile, the Yankees get a run and tie the game on this solo home run by Giancarlo Stanton. Moving to the bottom of the 4th, it's the Yankees 1 and the Blue Jays 1. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, and I bet you Heidi Watney's about to come on the screen. Yeah, there she is, and while we can't hear her, I would like to hear her because her insight is very useful all the time, but we don't have that luxury right now. We'll get right back to the game. Again, you're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. This game brought to you by MLB The Show 20. 5, 6, 7 hitters due up for the Blue Jays. Randall Grichuk, Brandon Drury, and Travis Shaw. All scheduled to bat this half inning. That pitch misses outside, counts 2-0. Jordan Montgomery has had issues finding the strike zone in today's game. He's walked a significant amount, one of which has come around to score on him. The Blue Jays scored in the first inning. Montgomery worked a quick second. Then he escaped a jam in the third, and now here we are in the 4th. Game tied at 1. Yankees just tied it in the top of this inning on a Giancarlo Stanton solo home run. The Blue Jays scored their only run in the first inning on a Vladimir Guerrero Jr. RBI single. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Randall Grichuk down on strikes for the first out of the bottom of the 4th inning.
First baseman number 3, Brandon.
Montgomery continuing to force breaking balls down the plate. He's 0 for 1. And the first pitch misses for a ball. The Blue Jays acquired Travis Shaw in free agency, and he's been their power left-handed bat. And he is typically the starting first baseman against right-handed pitching. As that pitch popped up, Sanchez won't be able to make that play. It counts 1-1. But Drury, who is a versatile infielder, typically starts at first base when there's a left-handed starter on the mound. And with Montgomery being a lefty, Drury in the lineup today. 2-1 pitch. It's inside, counts 3-1. Drury started his career with the Arizona Diamondbacks, was traded to the Yankees in the 2017-2018 offseason. He grounds that through the right side for a base hit, and then in the middle of 2018 was traded here to the Blue Jays, where he's been ever since. And he's aboard, and now he has a 15-game hitting streak after that single. I mean, even being a platoon player, not starting every day, still being able to string together 15 straight games where you appear to get a hit, that's quite impressive. Here's Travis Shaw, 1 ball and no strike count to him. Shaw, a product of the Boston Red Sox organization, really broke out though when he played for the Milwaukee Brewers. Entered free agency this offseason and signed with the Blue Jays. He's more or less a replacement for Justin Smoke, who also left the Blue Jays in free agency. The Blue Jays signed Shaw, who played for the Brewers, and the Brewers signed Smoke, who played for the Blue Jays. Line toward first. Voit to Torres, back to Voit, double play. Drury out at second, Shaw out at first, and the 4th inning is over. The Blue Jays get no runs on a hit and leave nobody on base. Moving to the 5th inning, it's the Yankees 1 and the Blue Jays 1. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm not Heidi Watney, I'm Nicholas Callis. This game brought to you by MLB The Show 20. This is game 2 of a 3-game series between these two AL East teams.
The third baseman.
The Yankees won yesterday. And this game tied at 1 nearly halfway through. 9-1-2 hitters due up for the Yankees to start the 5th. It's Urshela, then back to the top for DJ LeMahieu and Aaron Judge. Urshela had a breakout season last year with the Yankees. Was acquired from the Blue Jays, as a matter of fact, to replace Miguel Andujar at third base as he hits that pitch over the head of Randall Grichuk. And he's into second with a leadoff double, and now the ball gets away. Urshela trying to advance to third. Guerrero Jr. to Roark covering third. That's not in time. And Urshela is aboard at third base. We'll have yet to see how that's scored, but Grichuk threw this ball to the cutoff man, and it went wayward. And Urshela, who was going to stop at second, advanced to third on the errant throw. And they're going to call it a straight-up clean triple. So Urshela's on third, nobody out. Here's LeMahieu, former Colorado Rocky, signed with the Yankees. He made his debut with them in 2019. I mean, there are several stories of this Yankees team. Urshela is one of them, coming just as a replacement for an injured third baseman who had a breakout year and solidified himself as a starter. DJ LeMahieu came to the Yankees, and he was supposed to be a utility role, just somebody to fill in when any of the other infielders needed a day off. And that certainly is not how that ended up. Didi Gregorius got injured in 2019. So Torres moved to shortstop, and LeMahieu was the starting second baseman. He also played first base consistently as well because Luke Voit got hurt too. And man, he just
Simple.
There were talks of him being an MVP candidate. He batted well above 300. Hit nearly 30 home runs as he flies that pitch towards center. Grichuk makes the catch. Throws cut off by Drury. Gio Urshela scores from third, and the Yankees pick their first lead of the game. It's 2-1 in the top of the fifth inning. As Aaron Judge walks to the plate, but like so many stories that you hear about Yankees players who unexpectedly turned themselves into everyday starters and near superstars. LeMahieu, one of them. There's so many questions about whether he was going to be able to handle New York and the pressure that comes with being a Yankee. And he had a great regular season. Was quite productive in the postseason and solidified himself as an everyday starter. Mike Tauchman, another example with Urshela and LeMahieu, as Judge lines that pitch toward the left, and he's aboard with a single. And Roark starting to become fragile now.
Now batting, the shortstop, Labor Torres.
Gave up a home run to Giancarlo Stanton last inning, and now starts the fifth inning, giving up a couple hits and a run. Now here's Gleyber Torres. Tauchman came out of the Rockies organization, was traded over to the Yankees. Got to start because of all the injuries to the Yankees outfield. And he even came in and was nearly irreplaceable just because of how he was producing. Played well in left field and right field for them. As that pitch hit to right, and Derek Fisher runs out of room. And the Bronx Bombers are showing up today. That's the second home run hit by the Yankees in this game. The third run of this inning, the Yankees lead it 4-1. Well, Torres, good at hitting to all fields. Didn't try to pull this pitch. It was low, it was outside, and he took it that way and sent it over the wall. Tanner Roark recorded one out so far in this fifth inning, and that was a sacrifice fly. And now here's Giancarlo Stanton, who in his last at-bat hit a home run. That tied the game at the time. That was last inning. The Yankees have put up 3 here in the fifth. And Stanton lines that pitch toward left, but the outfield was shifted. That's right to Teoscar Hernandez, who makes the catch. And there are 2 outs now in the top of the fifth.
Gary Sanchez.
You see there everybody was shifted. And unfortunate circumstances for Stanton. But now with 2 outs, here's Gary Sanchez. He's 1 for 2. He singled in his last at bat. 4-1 Yankees lead, top of the fifth. And that pitch misses low. Tanner Roark on the brink of 80 pitches. Has struggled this inning. 3 runs in for the Yankees. Still 2 outs. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That's inside, counts 3-0, and Miguel Andujar is on deck. That's a strike, counts 3-1. And that can't find the zone, and Tanner Roark has walked Gary Sanchez. The Yankees are really only missing a double on their checklist for this inning. They've gotten a home run, a triple, a sacrifice fly. Somebody's walked. They've scored at least 1 run. Now here's Miguel Andujar. 2 outs, Gary Sanchez on first base. The Blue Jays scored first in the bottom of the first inning on a Vladimir Guerrero Jr. RBI single. The Yankees tied the game in the top of the fourth with a Giancarlo Stanton solo home run. And now The Yankees have scored 3 runs in this inning, thanks to a sacrifice fly into a 2-run home run by Gleyber Torres. There's the 0-2 to Andujar. Hit in the air right field. Derek Fisher running back on it. Looks like he has a play, and he makes the catch. Top of the 5th inning's over. Meanwhile, the Yankees scored 3 runs in that top of the 5th inning. 2 on this 2-run home run by Gleyber Torres. Going to the bottom of the 5th inning, halfway through this one, it's the Yankees 4 and the Blue Jays 1. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. This game brought to you by MLB The Show 20. 8-9 hitters due up for the Blue Jays. Derek Fisher, Danny Jansen, and Teoscar Hernandez all scheduled to bat. Jordan Montgomery pitching for the first time with a lead in this game. The Yankees gave up a run early in the first inning. Tied the game in the 4th and then scored 3 in that top of the 5th inning. Tanner Roark passed 80 pitches thrown after last inning. Montgomery coming up towards 70 now to start the bottom of the 5th. 1-1 misses down low, counts 2-1 now. Derek Fisher, the right fielder in this game, naturally a center fielder. But the Blue Jays entrusting that duty to Randall Grichuk right now, so Fisher still getting playing time every day. He's been their consistent right fielder all season. Counts full now, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Jordan Montgomery's pitch. On the ground left side. The infield was shifted, so that's Urshela making that play. Throws to Voit. Derek Fisher is out at first, and there's 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. That'll bring up number 9 hitter Danny Jansen. A .412 on base percentage and a 1.056 on base percentage plus slugging percentage, also known as OPS. He's still been batting 9th for this team, but he's had a hot month of April. And he's been consistent so far this year. He's had in this count 2 balls and no strikes. He's also 1 for 1. He singled in his first at bat. 2 ball, no strike pitch coming from Jordan Montgomery. On the ground toward the middle. LeMahieu plays it. Jump throw to Voit. And he got him. And now there are 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th inning. Watch this one again. Well, you need that jump throw sometimes when your momentum is taking you away from your throwing target. The quickest and most efficient way to change direction is to jump rather than try to pivot and stop your momentum. Jump while throwing it. Can do 2 motions all at once. Now here's Teoscar Hernandez. He's batting with 2 outs and the base is empty. Here in the bottom of the 5th inning, he is 0 for 1. He walked in his first plate appearance and got out his last time up. 2-0 pitch coming. Swing and a miss. Counts 2-1.
2 balls, 1 strike.
Hernandez, former Houston Astro, playing for the Blue Jays now, was acquired in 2017. Played center for them, but more recently played left field as he fouls that pitch off. Counts 2-2. And this year he's been producing frequently. They're getting more consistent playing time. He was supposed to start as the designated hitter this year, but with Bo Bichette getting hurt, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. moved from left to play shortstop, and Teoscar Hernandez got an opportunity to play consistently in left field, and he has not let the Blue Jays down so far this year. Montgomery just threw the 80th pitch of his outing. Here's the 3-2 now. With 2 outs, that's hit in the air against the shift. Toward right field, and Aaron Judge able to run it down. He makes the catch, and the 5th inning's over. The Blue Jays get no runs on no hits, and no runners are left on base. Going to the 6th inning, it's the Yankees 4 and the Blue Jays 1.
Ladies and gentlemen,
here's Wilmer Font coming out of the bullpen for the Blue Jays. In 16 games, he's had 6 decisions, and they've been split. He has a 9.16 ERA and 18 2/3 innings pitched. He'll face the bottom of this Yankees order.
The first baseman.
To start the 6th inning, Luke Voit, Brett Gardner, and Gio Urshela. First pitch inside, that's ball 1.
No strike.
Elvis Luciano and Jordan Romano both in the bullpen now for the Blue Jays. The Yankees bullpen has been quiet all game. No arms for them to report so far. 1-0 pitch. That's a strike. Counts even at 1. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis. It's an AL East matchup. These two teams playing now, and that pitch hit toward left field. And I can't see it, but Luke Voit could, and judging by that reaction, it landed foul. Counts 1 and 2. On the ground right side, but foul. Counts still 1 and 2. The Yankees are 20 and 13, tied for first place in the AL East with the Baltimore Orioles, who got hot toward the end of April, won today against the Royals, or against the White Sox, excuse me. And who are keeping pace with the Yankees. The Blue Jays are 15 and 17 in 4th place in the AL East, as that pitch misses. This is game 2 of a 3-game series. The Yankees won yesterday. And Voit strikes out swinging for the first out of the 6th inning. Wilmer Font starts his outing out with a strikeout. So the official scoreline on Tanner Roark, by the way. He went 5 full innings and gave up 4 earned runs.
Nope, that's inside.
Blue Jays still in this ball game, but the Yankees have pulled away to a 3-run lead. Blue Jays scored in the 1st inning, thanks to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. getting an RBI single. The Yankees tied it in the top of the 4th when Giancarlo Stanton hit a solo home run. And then in the 5th inning, the Yankees got 3 runs, 2 of which were scored on a Gleyber Torres home run. Now the Yankees leading by 3 here at the Rogers Center. Still in the middle 3rd of this ball game. That pitch is called a strike, counts 3 and 1. That misses too high. That's ball 4. And the Yankees have a base runner with 1 out.
The third baseman, Gio Urshela.
And that'll bring up Gio Urshela. Runner goes from first. Pitch called a strike, and Gardner slides into second safely. Danny Jansen couldn't throw him out. Let's take a look at that jump. That was an incredible jump. Read the leg lift nearly perfectly. And now he's in scoring position with 1 out. Urshela 1 for 2. So what we thought was a triple last inning was actually a double and then an error on Randall Grichuk, but there was no scoring decision announced. But since we just got it there, that's what it is officially. Urshela doubled, advanced to 3rd on the errant throw, and then scored on the DJ LeMahieu sacrifice fly. 0-2 pitch, that misses outside, counts 1 and 2. That's outside, counts even now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Urshela, the former Cleveland Indian and Toronto Blue Jay. Didn't play here very long, and the Blue Jays executed a trade with the Yankees. Allowed him to play now in the Bronx. Grounded up the middle, there's Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Throws to Brandon Drury. Out at first is Urshela, and now there are 2 outs in the top of the 6th.
Now batting, second baseman, DJ LeMahieu.
Now here comes DJ LeMahieu. batted in. He had a sacrifice fly last inning. 1 ball, no strike pitch. Sharply hit. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. bobbles it, and LeMahieu will reach first safely. Well, he charged it, but couldn't come up with it cleanly. Gardner advances to third on the play. Yeah, that just hit him square on the palm of the glove. And now with 2 outs, here's Aaron Judge. Judge singled last inning, 1 for 2 officially in this game. And he takes ball 1 outside. Judge was the home runs leader in 2017 when he hit 52. Also set the single season home run record for rookies, which has not aged well. He had that record for a couple of years before Pete Alonso in 2019 hit 53. And broke Judge's record for a single season home run record for rookies. Line drive right field, base hit for Aaron Judge. He's now 2 for 3. Brett Gardner scores from third base, advancing to second is LeMahieu, and Aaron Judge has himself an RBI. Wilmer Font still hasn't given up any earned runs, because if Lourdes Gurriel Jr. would have made that play, the inning would have been over. So every run scored by the Yankees after that error does not count as earned for Wilmer Font. But we'll backtrack to last inning when Gleyber Torres hit a 2-run home run. That made it 4-1 at the time. Now it's 5-1 after Judge's single. Still 2 outs, top of the 6th. 1 run in the inning for the Yankees. Strike 1 called. Font facing Torres for the first time. Font just came into the game this inning. I believe Tanner Roark, who went 5 full innings and gave up 4 earned runs. And fresh out of the bullpen, he's thrown 25 pitches now, 13 of which have been outside the strike zone. One ball, 1 strike pitch. Chop foul, counts 1-2. DJ LeMahieu is on second base. Aaron Judge is on first base. Check swing, and the home plate umpire says he committed. That's a strikeout, and that ends the top of the 6th inning. The Yankees get 1 run thanks to an error by Lourdes Gurriel Jr. at shortstop, and they've extended their lead by a run now. It's a 4-run deficit for the Blue Jays. 5-1's the score. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. 2-3-4 hitters due up for the Blue Jays this half inning. Cavan Biggio, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Cavan Biggio 0 for 1. He walked in the first inning. Coming up now for his 3rd plate appearance of the game against Jordan Montgomery. And he tries to bunt. Back to Montgomery, who makes the play. And that's 1 out in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Up next for the Blue Jays, the shortstop, Lourdes Gurriel.
That'll bring up Lourdes Gurriel Jr. now, who is 0 for 1 as he comes up to the plate. And as Biggio runs back to the dugout. Gurriel Jr. is 0 for 1. He walked in the 3rd inning. That's the only time he's reached base so far in this one. This is game 2 of a 3-game series between these two teams. Yankees won yesterday. And if the Yankees win today, they'll be a half game in the lead of the AL West first place spot. If they lose, they'll be in second place, a half game back of the Orioles, who will be in first place. The Blue Jays will be in 4th place regardless of whether they win or lose this game. It'll just be a matter of how much closer they'll be toward the top. Line drive toward right field. Aaron Judge tracks it, makes the play, And there are 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Now batting, the third baseman, Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Here comes Vladimir Guerrero Jr. now. He bats with 2 outs. The base is empty. In the bottom of the 6th inning. He's 1 for 2 off Montgomery. He singled in the 1st inning and drove home the only Blue Jays RBI. Grounds right to Luke Voigt there, who makes the play himself, and the 6th inning is over. No runs, no hits, nobody left on for the Blue Jays. Going to the 7th inning here at the Rogers Center. It's the Yankees 5 and the Blue Jays 1.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Blue Jays, number 45.
Thomas Pannone is on the mound for the Blue Jays. Has 2 winning decisions in 10 starts.
The left fielder.
Not 10 starts, 10 games appeared in out of the bullpen. He'll face Giancarlo Stanton. The Yankees have 4, 5, 6 hitters coming up to the plate. But this is not a matchup that favors Pannone. Stanton favors hitting against lefties as compared to righties. And the 3 hitters that Pannone will face
1-1.
in this half inning are right-handed. One ball, 1 strike pitch coming. Line foul down the left. Down towards the left, and the count's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Stanton's only hit so far in this game was a solo home run in the 4th. That tied the game at the time. The Yankees have since scored 4 more. And he strikes out looking there. That's out number 1. And taking a look at those with
the catcher,
high team ERAs. The Blue Jays division rival at the top in the Boston Red Sox, but the Blue Jays in 2nd place. Not where you want to be. They have a 5.12 ERA as a team. Giles has been a lockdown closer for this Blue Jays team so far. And the rotation has been solid, at least for their top 3 pitchers. Hyun-Jin Ryu being one of them. Ken Roark being another. But some of the bottom of the rotation pitchers in the bullpen have struggled this year, resulting in such a high team ERA. 1-1 pitch coming to Gary Sanchez. And he pops that pitch foul, counts 1-2. Sanchez has a hit. 1 for 2 in total today. And he chops that pitch foul, count still 1-2. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis. 1-2 pitch coming to Sanchez. In the dirt, blocked by Jansen. Sanchez didn't bite. Counts even at 2. Up high, count full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Miguel Andujar on deck. He's one of the few Yankees hitters that haven't gotten a hit in this game or reached base at all. Chopped up the middle into the shift. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. there throws. Excuse me, that was Cavan Biggio, the second baseman, throwing to Brandon Drury, but Gary Sanchez is out, and now there are 2 outs in the top of the 7th. And that'll bring up Miguel Andujar. As previously mentioned, he's one of the few Yankees hitters to not only not have a hit, but he also hasn't reached base in 3 plate appearances. Facing a new arm, however, as he fouls that first pitch off. The Yankees scored 4 runs off the starter Tanner Roark, who went 5 full innings pitched. Wilmer Font came in the 6th and gave up an unearned run. And now Pannone here in the 7th. Pannone is pitching here in the 7th, I should say. Counts 1-2 now on Andujar. 1-2, here it comes. Inside, counts even at 2. Line drive over the head of Lourdes Gurriel Jr. into center field, and that's the first hit of the game for Andujar as he tries for second, and he's safe. Extremely aggressive base running by Miguel Andujar. Pritchett played it well. Threw it to Gurriel Jr., the cutoff man, instead of into second for Biggio to make a play, and Andujar hustling into second. Earns himself a double. And ground liner right to third. There's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. who snagged it before it hit the ground, and Luke Voigt with a loud out number 3 to end the top of the 7th. No runs on a hit for the Yankees and 1 runner left on base. Going to the bottom of the 7th, the Yankees lead this one by 4.
Your attention, please.
Jordan Montgomery done after 6 innings.
Number 58.
Franklin Perez coming on here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Franklin Perez has been a frequent call from the bullpen by the Yankees all season. Also has a couple winning decisions, too. Because he's been called on so much, he is one of their long relief pitchers. He and Luis Cesar are long relief pitchers. Perez came to the Yankees in a trade earlier this season. And though he's listed as a starting pitcher, or he was a starting pitcher, he made the Major League roster for the Yankees. Although he could start, he's pitched out of the bullpen just because the Yankees have a stacked staff right now. But he's pitched well, an ERA under 3 in all of his appearances. Has yet to get a losing decision in any of the games he's come into. He's been reliable since coming over to the Bronx. Swing and a miss, count. The count says strike 3. There's the first out. Pardon me for misspeaking there, but that's the first out of the bottom of the 7th inning. Brandon Drury will come to the plate. He's 1 for 2. Facing Perez for the first time. Strike 1. Drury extended his hitting streak. He has now gotten a hit in 15 straight games that he's appeared in. And there seems to be a correlation with the fact that he's batting in the mid-300s now in the season. Been playing well so far this year. Definitely helps, too, that he's put it in a role to succeed. Typically comes into games when there's a left-handed starter. Or a left-handed pitcher on the mound. But he started this game because Jordan Montgomery was a lefty. And he strikes out there. That's out number 1. Breaking ball right over the lower part of the plate. Now with 2 outs, bottom of the 7th inning, Travis Shaw comes to the plate. Shaw definitely favors hitting against right-handed pitching rather than left. A 1 pitch coming. That's too high, counts even at 1.
1-1.
Travis Shaw formerly played for the Boston Red Sox, broke out with the Milwaukee Brewers, and signed with the Blue Jays to help them have a fierce middle of the order, especially a left-handed bat that hits home runs and produces RBIs. So that was that pitch off. So far he's been doing that, although not this game. Struggles against left-handed pitching. That's why he bats lower in the order. Typically bats 5th and starts at first base when there's a righty starter on the mound. Strikes out there against Franklin Perez. He's now 0 for 3. And the 7th inning has concluded. Through 7 full innings of play, it's the Yankees 5 and the Blue Jays 1.
Ladies and gentlemen,
you're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. This game brought to you by MLB The Show 20, and there is Elvis Luciano. Has appeared in 9 games, and in 8 1/3 innings pitched, he has an ERA north of 10. He'll face Brett Gardner, Gio Urshela, and DJ LeMahieu to start off this 8th inning. Blue Jays scored first in this one. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hit an RBI single in the bottom of the first inning. The Yankees tied the game in the top of the fourth on a Giancarlo Stanton solo home run. Then in the fifth inning, the Yankees got 3 runs, 2 of which came on a Gleyber Torres 2-run home run. And then in the sixth, the Yankees got an unearned run. Aaron Judge tallied an RBI in that inning, an RBI single to be more specific. But all of the 4 earned runs that were given up were tallied to Tanner Roark's scoreline. Wilmer Font gave up the run in the 6th. But it was unearned. Brandon Drury throws to Elvis Luciano, and that's the first out of the 8th inning. Brett Gardner down after grounding out.
Urshela.
That'll bring up Gio Urshela. He's 1 for 3. He doubled, advanced to third on an error, and then scored on the DJ LeMahieu sacrifice fly.
Ball, that's down.
As Justin Miller now joins Jordan Romano in throwing in the Blue Jays bullpen. One-0 pitch. Hit well toward left center field. On the run is Teoscar Hernandez, and he runs that one down. Makes the catch, and now there are 2 outs.
Now batting, the second baseman, DJ LeMahieu.
Watch him run this one down, too. And that was destined for the gap, but Hernandez is quick and took a good route to the ball. And able to make the play. Here comes DJ LeMahieu now. 2 outs, base is empty. LeMahieu 1 for 3. Reached on an error in his last at bat. Also has a sacrifice fly in this one. But that's how he got his run batted in.
0-1's the count.
No ball, 1 strike pitch. Line, but foul down the left field line, and the count is no balls and 2 strikes. That's outside, count 1 and 2. This is game 2 of a 3-game series between these 2 AL East opponents. Up high, counts 2 and 2. And he needs a new ball. Many reasons why that could be the case. There is a rule in baseball, too, that the ball cannot be defaced in any way. They can't have any slash marks on it. The sphere has to be intact. The laces have to be intact. It's not like you see how in Little League, or sometimes umpires will just let the players use balls that are defaced, but not in Major League Baseball. Any little sign of a ball not being perfect results in it being taken out of the game. And it is a rule as well in the books. A ball essentially has to be perfect. Can't be defaced. Can't have laces undone. Can't have indents in it.
That's ball 4.
Luciano walks DJ LeMahieu with 2 outs. And that brings up a dangerous hitter in Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge.
Judge has a couple of hits in this one. One single he had resulted in an RBI. He also scored a run on the Gleyber Torres home run. His average boosted now to .291 on the season. Judge started the year off injured and came into the Yankees lineup about a week or 2 weeks into the season. He and Giancarlo Stanton were both sidelined to start the year.
Ball 1. 1 ball, 1
Now they're
strike.
both back in the lineup and both wreaking havoc. Been producing ever since their returns. 1-1 pitch.
Ball
That's inside, counts 2 and 1. Luciano just came in this 8th inning, got the first 2 outs quickly, but then Give up a 2-out walk to DJ LeMahieu, and now Aaron Judge gets his third hit of the afternoon, and he's got a 3-hit game now. That advances DJ LeMahieu to second base.
The shortstop, Labor.
Just snuck it through. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. ran out of range. Couldn't make that play. And now here is Gleyber Torres. 2 outs. LeMahieu on second, Judge on first base. Torres, his only hit of the afternoon, was a home run that scored a couple back in the 5th inning. And he fouls that first pitch off, strike one, 95 miles per hour from Luciano. Nothing in one pitch coming. Chopped foul. It's quickly 0-2 on the Yankees shortstop. Torres, a product of the Chicago Cubs, was traded here to the Yankees in 2016 for Aroldis Chapman. He signed back with the Yankees anyway in the next offseason, post-2016. Torres strikes out again there. That ends the top of the 8th inning. The Yankees get a couple base runners on, but fail to score. Going to the bottom of the 8th, it's the Yankees 5 and the Blue Jays 1.
Your attention, please. Now
Franklin Perez is done. Chad Green comes into the game out of the bullpen.
Chad.
In 16 innings pitched, he has a 6.19 ERA and 2 losing decisions. He's the kind of pitcher that doesn't get put in spots to win games.
Derek Fisher.
So the subject to getting tallied with losses from time to time. Hasn't been as lights out as in seasons past. The Yankees still view him as a reliable arm. And he's in this game. Pull the Yankees through to the 9th, still with the lead. They'll face Derek Fisher, Danny Jansen, and then Teoscar Hernandez. Those 3 scheduled to bat in this bottom of the 8th inning. 1-1 pitch. On the ground and foul, count 1-2. Derek Fisher 0 for 2 in this one. One-two pitch coming from Chad Green. That's fouled off, count still 1-2. The Blue Jays haven't scored since the 1st inning. The Yankees scored in the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th inning. It's inside, counts even at 2. Swing and a miss. Got him to chase the breaking ball. A back foot slider. That's out number 1.
Now batter, number 9.
Why that pitch is so dangerous is it's a pitch that's coming at you quickly, and it looks like it's going to paint that lower inside corner. So hitters take it, but when the hitter realizes it's not a fastball, it's too late, and it breaks in toward them, and left swinging and missing at it. With 1 out, here's Danny Jansen. He's 1 for 2. He's singled in the 3rd inning, batting .326 now on the season with a .404 OBP on base percentage. And he gets hit with that pitch, and he's on base again. Jansen a little. And with still 1 out, here is Kevin Biggio as a couple more arms start to warm up in the Yankees bullpen, one of which is closer Aroldis Chapman. And that misses for a ball. Chad Green starting to struggle in this half inning. Here's the 1-0. That misses outside, counts 2-0. The Blue Jays haven't scored since the 1st inning when Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hit an RBI single. The Yankees got a couple home runs in this game, scored 5 runs total, all of which were scored in the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings.
Ball, that's outside.
Now 3-0 on Cavan Biggio. Chad Green pitching in his first inning out of the bullpen. He hasn't registered a full inning yet. Hit Danny Jansen, who's on second, and walked Teoscar Hernandez, who's on first. Now the 3-0 to Biggio. That finds the zone. Counts 3-1.
Count is 3-1.
Here's the pitch. That misses too high. That's ball 4. And now the tying run comes to the plate for the Blue Jays. And there are still 2 arms warming up in the Yankees bullpen. But the Blue Jays have a bit of momentum now. The bases are loaded with 1 out. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. right now represents the tying run for the Blue Jays. Breaking ball off of Sanchez's glove. No advance, though, from any runner. Counts 1-0. Gurriel Jr., who's been more of a run producer this season. 0 for 2 in today's game. The 12 home runs he has on the season is tied for 3rd best in the American League. And 1-0 is called a strike. Count is even 1-1. Jansen on third, Hernandez on second, Biggio on first. Blue Jays haven't tallied a hit yet this inning. Derek Fisher struck out to start this bottom of the 8th inning, but then Chad Green hit Danny Jansen and then walked Hernandez and Biggio. Gurriel Jr. behind in the count now, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Chad Green. That's outside, and the count's even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Even count, here's the pitch again. That one misses. The count's full, 3-2. Chad Green with nowhere to put a runner, and a dangerous hitter in Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is on deck. Hit in the air, left center field. Brett Gardner makes the catch. Tagging from third is Danny Jansen. Throws cut off by Luke Voigt. And Jansen scores from third base. And the score's now 5-2. Yankees still lead it. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. gets his first RBI of this game and continues to produce runs for this Blue Jays team this season. And with that, Chad Green is finished. Adam Ottavino coming into the game. In 7 2/3 innings pitched so far this year, he has an 8.22 ERA. He's appeared in 8 games. And he has the task of not allowing the Blue Jays to score any more runs. Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s up. He had the first RBI of the game when he hit an RBI single back in the first inning. And he's at the plate representing the potential tying run for the Blue Jays. 0-1 from Ottavino. That's too far outside. Counts even at 1. Hit well toward the right side, but foul. Counts 1 ball and 2 strikes. Line drive left side of the field, but that will go foul as well. The count's still 1-2. On the ground left side, the Yankees were playing no doubles defense. Urshela able to make a play, throws to LeMahieu. And the runner's out at second base, and the Yankees escape trouble. And the 8th inning has been completed. The Blue Jays get a run, though, in that bottom of the 8th inning. The Yankees still lead at 5-2. There's Jordan Romano coming out to pitch the 9th inning for the Blue Jays. And he has the job of not allowing the Yankees to score any further.
The left fielder, Giancarlo.
He'll face the middle of the Yankees order to begin this inning. Giancarlo Stanton to lead off. Counts quickly, 2 balls and no strikes on him. The Yankees scored all their runs in the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings. They scored their runs in the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th inning. Stanton was one of the run producers in those innings. He hit a solo home run in the top of the 4th inning that tied the game at the time. The Yankees took the lead in the 5th inning, most notably getting runs on the Gleyber Torres 2-run home run. They scored in a run that went unearned to Wilmer Font in the 6th and haven't scored since then. 3-2 pitch. That's fouled off. Count still full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. At this Rogers Center, Giancarlo Stanton set the Yankees world on fire when, on opening day in 2018, he hit 2 home runs here. Hasn't been as great as advertised, though, since coming to the Yankees. And I don't say that because he doesn't have the potential to produce runs, but injuries have stopped him from living up to his fullest potential in New York.
Now batting, the catcher.
But he's come off the IL from earlier this year, and since he's been back this season, he's been producing well for the Yankees, and he leads off the 9th inning with a walk there. Here comes Gary Sanchez. Sanchez 1 for 3. He singled earlier in the game, takes ball 1 there from Romano. Blue Jays scored a run in the 1st inning on a Vladimir Guerrero Jr. RBI single. And they got a run on a sac fly in the bottom of the 8th inning. The deficit right now is 3 runs. This is game 2 of a 3-game series between these two teams. The Yankees won yesterday. Counts 2-1. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis. Yankees leading this one 5-2. And Sanchez now in a hitter's count. It's 3-1 on him. And more danger looming on deck. Miguel Andujar scheduled to bat next. (3-1). Popped into the air and foul, and the count run full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And Sanchez exercises some discipline, and it works out for him. He's got himself a walk. Jordan Romano, straight out of the bullpen, has walked the first 2 batters he's faced. Stanton moves to second on the play, and Sanchez on first. And with that, Miguel Andujar comes to the plate. Andujar just 1 hit and 4 at bats. And he lines that first pitch into right field, base hit. Derek Fisher gets it in quickly. Drury cuts it off. And the Yankees play station to station. Stanton moves to third. Sanchez moves to second. Andujar on first. Now the base is loaded. And here is Luke Voigt. Voit takes that pitch for a strike. The count's 0-1. Voit is 1 for 4. He's singled in the 4th inning. That was his only hit. Has an opportunity to drive home a run with the bases loaded and nobody out. Ball's behind 0-2. Jordan Romano walked the first 2 hitters and then gave up a single to Andujar. That's how the bases became loaded. The ball's 2 strikes, nobody out. He's late on that pitch, fouls it off. Count remains 0-2. Late again, fouls it off. Extends the at-bat. Count still 0-2. Luke Voit, former St. Louis Cardinal, was traded over to the Yankees in the middle of the 2018 season for one of the Yankees' better pitchers in Giovanni Gallegos. And the trade's really worked out for both the Cardinals and the Yankees. Gallegos now doing well as the closing pitcher of the Cardinals, and Voit has been the answer to the Yankees' first base problems ever since Teixeira left the team. Because he retired, not because they parted ways in any angry ways.
Ball 2.
Counts 2-2 now.
2-2.
On the ground, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. throws to Biggio for 1, and the throw's offline, but Brandon Drury aware enough to tag out Luke Voit, so that's a double play. Voit doesn't get a run batted in for that. Meanwhile, the Yankees do score a run on the play. Stanton scores from third base. And even though the infield was playing in, Gurriel Jr. elected to go to second base. And now Gardner swings, hits that pitch to right field. And that ball is gone. And the Rogers Center becoming more quiet. It is now 8-2. The Yankees blown this game open in the final inning of regulation. Yeah, Gardner, even though he's not a frequent home run hitter, he knows when to show off some style. And Jordan Romano is done.
Now pitching for the Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays had some hope after getting a double play, although a run scored on that double play. It was still a 4-run deficit. But the Yankees just tacked on 2 more. So Justin Miller coming into the game now with 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning. Yankees lead at 8-2.
Gio Urshela.
The Blue Jays scored first in the bottom of the 1st inning. They scored in the 8th inning as well, but the Yankees had home runs in the 4th and 5th innings and in the 9th now. That was their 3rd home run of the game.
0-2.
And they've broken it open. Urshela down to the count now, no balls and 2 strikes. Justin Miller, the one on the mound, former Washington National. A veteran pitcher now giving his services to the Blue Jays, a team that needs some veteran leadership and production. Nothing in 2 pitch.
Nope,
that's too high, counts 1-2.
I got the count 1-2.
Miller's 1-2 pitch to Gio Urshela.
Ball 2.
And the count's even down, 2 balls and 2 strikes. 3 runs in this inning for the Yankees. And Urshela hits that pitch in the air right side, but out of the reach of any fielder, and the count's still even 2-2. Two-two pitch. That can't find the zone either, close to the knees, but ruled a ball, and the count's full 3-2. DJ LeMahieu is on deck. In the air, right field, Derek Fisher running, and he dives. He made the catch. A flashy play to end the top of the ninth inning by Derek Fisher. However, the Yankees still scored 3 runs in the top of the ninth inning and have made it a 6-run deficit for the Blue Jays going into the bottom of the ninth inning. Well, Aroldis Chapman was throwing, but with such a large deficit now,
The center fielder.
he is sat down. Adam Ottavino came in, and he got the final out of the 8th inning. And he'll pitch to try to finish this game in the 9th. Meanwhile, Tommy Kahnle and Jonathan Holder throwing in the bullpen, but Chapman is sat down. Not a safe situation at the moment. 5, 6, 7 hitters due up for the Blue Jays. Randall Grichuk, Brandon Drury, and Travis Shaw all scheduled to bat. 2-0's the count now on Grichuk. Grichuk 0 for 3 in today's game. 2-0 pitch. That's too far outside. Counts 3-0.
The count's 3-0.
The Blue Jays had the then tying run come to the plate last inning. They only managed to score 1 run, though. And now face a much larger deficit.
3 balls, 1 strike.
It was a 3-run game going into the 9th. Now it's a 6-run game.
Ball 4, that pitch is
And
in.
Adam Ottavino issues a leadoff walk to Randall Grichuk.
The first baseman, number 3, Brandon.
I'll bring up Brandon Drury, who singled in the 4th inning, extended his hitting streak to 15 straight games. Facing Adam Ottavino for the first time this game, and that pitch misses for a ball. Drury, a versatile infielder, but with all the young talent coming up, most of the infield positions
Ball upstairs.
are occupied on the Blue Jays right now, so he's a platoon first baseman with Travis Shaw. Getting a significant amount of playing time as well, considering that Bo Bichette is injured. 2-1's the count. Teoscar Hernandez was the designated hitter of this team, but he's playing left field now because Lourdes Gurriel Jr. went from left to shortstop, so some pieces moving around, and that's given Drury a chance to play more often.
Count is 3-1.
And he's ahead in the count now, 3 balls and a strike. Travis Shaw's on deck. Here's the 3-1. And that's hit in the air right field. On the run, Aaron Judge. And he makes the catch. That's out number 1.
The batter, number 6, designated hitter, Travis.
And here comes the designated hitter of the evening now, Travis Shaw. Shaw 0 for 3, struck out in the 7th inning, which was his most recent at bat. No production out of him. Could also contribute to the fact that he just hits better against right-handed pitchers, and Jordan Montgomery, the starter of today's game, was a left-handed pitcher. On the ground left side, Urshela throws to LeMahieu, but it's well off the bag. Safe at second is Grichuk, and safe at first is Shaw.
The right fielder.
That'll go down as an error on Gio Urshela, a throwing error. Made it a point to set his feet, too. But just pulled off the throw. And now the Blue Jays with a couple runners on and 1 out in this bottom of the 9th inning. Derek Fisher comes up to the plate now. He does not have a hit in this entire series. This is game 2 of a 3-game series between these two. The Yankees won yesterday. And in a position to close this one out, but the Blue Jays creating some traction. This 9th inning, strike 1 called on Derek Fisher. Line toward the left side, and that'll get into the seats. Fisher behind in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. The red-hot Danny Jansen is on deck, and then the Blue Jays' top of the order would follow. Right over the heart of the plate with that breaking ball, and Derek Fisher strikes out looking. And now there are 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. The Blue Jays 1 out left to work with. Here's Danny Jansen. He's 1 for 2 in this one. Got hit by a pitch in his last plate appearance. And that's foul. Counts 0-1. If the Yankees can hold on and win this one, they'll have sole possession of first place in the American League East. The Orioles have been hot as of recent. They won today against the White Sox, and they are keeping pace with the Yankees toward the top of the AL East.
You got 2 balls, 1 strike.
2-1's the count on Jansen.
That's a ball.
3-1's the count. Top of the order due up next for the Blue Jays. Swing and a miss. Count run full, 3-2. Both runners expected to be moving on the pitch. Richick on second. Shaw on first. Runners go. Called strike 3 over the inside edge. And this ball game's over. There's Jordan Montgomery, who gets the winning decision in this game, and the Yankees win. After it was tight early, the Yankees win by a lopsided score of 8-2. The Yankees improve now to 21-13. They are atop the AL East by a half game, being trailed by the Orioles. The Blue Jays fall to 15-18, and they move further back in the AL East. The Yankees have won the series officially and have an opportunity to sweep the series tomorrow in the 3rd and final game of this series with their AL East opponents. But that wraps it up here from the Rogers Center. Quick scoring summary for you. In the bottom of the first inning, the Blue Jays scored on a Vladimir Guerrero Jr. RBI single. The Yankees then tied the game in the top of the 4th inning with a Giancarlo Stanton solo home run. In the 5th, the Yankees got 3 runs, 1 on a sac fly, and 2 on a home run by Gleyber Torres. In the 6th, the Yankees got an unearned run after an error was committed by Blue Jays shortstop Lourdes Gurriel Jr., and then Aaron Judge had an RBI single. That made it 4-1 at the time. The Yankees gave up a run in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Blue Jays rallied to get a run, but then in the top of the 9th, the Yankees scored 3 runs, a couple of which were scored on a Brett Gardner 2-run home run, and that created a 6-run deficit that the Blue Jays could not come back from. Well, again, that'll do it here from the Rogers Center. I'm Nicholas Callis. You've been watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. Once again, the final score, the New York Yankees 8 and the Toronto Blue Jays 2.